The truth about Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio. Trending right now on social media and news networks, migrants from Haiti in Ohio are eating people's pets. Now, in the state of Florida where we live, we have over 600,000 Haitians. Certainly if Haitian migrants were eating cats, Florida would be devoid of cats because we have 600,000 Haitians living in our state. But we also have more cats running loose in the state of Florida than anywhere in America. So what happened to Fluffy? Let's dive into today's video. Now, back in 1950, Springfield had 78,000 people. Since then, they have lost over 20,000 people. Now, as you guys know, normally populations grow. That's the way human nature works. So when a town loses 20,000 people, more than a quarter of its population over a few decades, that should give you an idea the type of miserable crap hole this town is. Maybe it's time for new blood to come in here and try to do something different. And if the local cat population has to go as a result, so be it. This is a miserable crap hole. And this information is coming out now during elections in Ohio. Now, again, back to Florida, where we have over 600,000 Haitians. I grew up in the country of Cuba. In Cuba, we have 500,000 Haitians. That means that 1 in 20 Cubans has Haitian descent. In fact, when I lived in Cuba, we had a roommate that was from Haiti. So I've been around Haitian people since I was just a little child. I basically grew up in a household with Haitians. If anybody would know whether Haitians eat cats or not, it would be me, because my whole entire life I've lived in Cuba and Florida around Haitians. I lived in Kentucky for 4 years. When I lived in Kentucky, my best friend was Haitian. His father was killed while being a taxi driver, and it left him fatherless. Me and him grew up together. So my entire life I've been around Haitian people. And I've never really heard the notion that Haitians ate cats until I moved to the state of Florida, and I ran into people who have never been around Haitians who were passing around this rumor that's somewhat of a racial stereotype. Now, do people in the Caribbean islands eat cats and dogs? To be honest with you, most people from the Caribbean islands are going to be embarrassed to tell you the truth. But yes, it's not common, but it happens. Now, let me show you a parable so you can understand the difference between Cuba, the country where I was born, and Haiti. Cuba is far poorer than Haiti. Haiti may have a war going on right now because of its failed politics. Most of the turmoil in Haiti right now is revolving around the larger cities. If you get out into the countryside or some of the islands surrounding Haiti, things there are practically normal to a degree. Haiti has a land border with the Dominican Republic, a country that has a medium standard of living. Despite the country being plagued with crime, many Americans are moving to the coastal communities in the Dominican Republic. Haiti is attached to a country that has a lot of stability. Cuba, the country where I was born, on the other hand, is an island that's been trapped since 1959. Most of the vehicles running around in Cuba are still from the 1950s. Haiti is economically far superior than Cuba. It's attached to a country that has a free market that's very strong. If there's a place in the Caribbean islands right now where there's hunger, misery, and poverty, it isn't Haiti, it's Cuba. In comparison to Cuba, Haiti is a wonderland of food production with strong agricultural sectors like mango, bananas, rice. Haitians have plenty of food in comparison to the country of Cuba. If there was a place in the Caribbean islands where people were eating cats and dogs out of necessity, it wouldn't be Haiti. It would be my home country of Cuba. Now, recently, YouTubers have been allowed to go to Cuba, and many YouTubers have gone to Cuba, and they've noticed that in Cuba, there's a vast amount of stray dogs everywhere. So we can assume that if people in Cuba are not eating cats and dogs out of necessity, well, they sure as crap aren't doing that in Haiti. Another news report claims that Haitians are going to parks and slaughtering ducks and eating them. Now, I don't doubt that. You know why I don't doubt that? Because in 1996, when we came from Cuba, we did that. Now, after living in the United States for many years, I no longer engage in these things because you become acclimated to the culture and rules of the United States. So I don't doubt that at some point Haitians clubbed a few ducks out there in a park in Ohio. That's what happens with immigrant groups who are unfamiliar with the culture. Now, most immigrant groups, including Haitians, acclimate fairly well to the United States, and whatever cultural traits they may have, they're not in accordance with what's acceptable in the United States. They do work out those issues eventually. So could there be people coming from Haiti now who have a level of savagery that we're not used to in the United States? Absolutely. Does that represent the vastness of Haitian immigrants that are coming to the United States now? Absolutely not. The United States has gone on a slander campaign against migrants. They went after Venezuelans, now they're going after Haitians. And it's somewhat shameful that in this year, 2024, people will still believe something as primitive as a stereotype about a new migrant group that isn't real. As you can see from the video of driving through Springfield, Ohio, this town is decrepit, it's decaying, it's miserable. They've lost a lot of their population. I mean, to be honest, the percentage of people that have left Springfield, Ohio is comparable to the percentage of Haitians who've left Haiti. In other words, it's just about as messed up as Haiti. It might be in the United States, but it's not a place of opportunity. And honestly, I don't even understand why these Haitians are moving here, probably because of affordability. Now, let me give you some analytics on Springfield, Ohio, so you can understand exactly the type of situation that this town is facing right now. Overall, almost a quarter of the population in this town is living below the poverty line, 19% for the white population, almost 30% for blacks, 40% for Hispanics and Latinos, 86% for American Indians, and 73% for other races. Almost 34% for two or more races. In other words, the levels of poverty that exist in this Ohio town are among some of the worst in the United States for non-white residents. They're not giving other races opportunities here. You're talking about a town that has some of the highest poverty rates for migrants, immigrants, and minorities of anywhere in the United States. These numbers are unheard of. If you're not white in Ohio, in this part of Ohio, you're not getting opportunities here. These people are not opening the doors to migrants. In 2018, Springfield, Ohio had 13 homicides. That was way before the migrants ever showed up. That means that their homicide rate in 2018 was higher than Chicago. Citydata.com, 2018, they had 13 homicides with a homicide rate of 22 per 100,000, higher than Chicago. I repeated that in case you didn't hear me. That's how bad crime was in the city before the migrant group showed up. So here's a town that's losing population. All the minorities here are suffering greatly from poverty, and they're whacking people left and right. This sounds like the type of community that perhaps could use some new blood, somebody to come in and try doing something different, because whatever they're doing here isn't working. If you told me that Springfield, Ohio had a growing population, good economy, people were moving here, and here come all these horrible migrants to ruin everything, well, I could kind of listen to that. Nah, buddy, your homicide rate's higher than Chicago. Your poverty rates for immigrants are some of the lowest anywhere in the United States. You've been losing population at an astounding rate. And you're 45 minutes from Columbus. You're not far from Cincinnati. You're in Ohio, a state that's affordable. Yeah, you're doing something wrong. It's about time somebody else moves into this town and tries something different, because whatever you're doing isn't working. Perhaps this town needs new blood, and the people here are lazy. They're a miserable failure. I've been here. I'm not unfamiliar with this area. I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. It's not far from Cincinnati. I know this area very well. I know the characteristics of the people. They're lazy. They're undesirable. They're just hostile. They're racist and hateful for outsiders. You don't need to hear that from me. You can just look at their analytics and figure that part out. Southeastern Ohio has one of the highest drug overdose rates in the country. That's where Kentucky, West Virginia, and Ohio meet. This area has the highest drug overdose death rate of anywhere in the United States. Some of these counties' overdose death rates are as high as 100 per 100,000. By far, 3 to 4 times more than the national average. So these people here are drugged out, they're lazy. Housing is very affordable in this part of the country. In fact, housing prices in Springfield, Ohio are almost half of Ohio's average, and Ohio's average home price is only $215,000. So You can buy a decent house here for $100,000. You can buy an inhabitable house for $40,000. You're not going to find even the land for those prices in most of the United States right now. It's an affordable place. They got one of the easiest economical packages of anywhere in America. It's understandable that they have high poverty rates because, after all, it doesn't even take that much money to live here. It's just, you just don't even need a lot of money to live here. You can have a little bit of money and you can make a decent living here. Yet despite all that, they're not taking advantage of how affordable Ohio is. They're not taking advantage of how affordable the housing is. There are industries in Ohio, but the people here would rather leech off the system. Now, that's not the case for Northern Ohio, but it's definitely the case for Southern Ohio. It's a culture of government dependency in this region of the country and leeching off the system. Not too far away, West Virginia has the highest food stamp percentage of the population in the country. It's the culture here for people to sit back and expect everything to be given to them. They don't want to work too hard. They want to claim that they have a disability, get food stamps, get some type of SSI for being disabled, and just leech off the system. These people don't want to work. So here come a group of hungry migrants that want to work and want to create a successful life. It makes them look bad. And I know Haitians. I live in South Florida. I've been in South Florida. I know Haitians. I do Uber driving here, and there's times where I'll pick up a Haitian from one job at midnight, and he'll go to his second or third job at night. These are people that might sleep 5 or 6 hours, man. They just arrived in the United States. They are hungry for success. They want to work 2 and 3 jobs. They want to save money. They want to buy a house. They want to start their own business. They want to live the American dream. And that makes these people here in Ohio look bad. Look at these houses. These houses were built during the ages of slavery. These houses are 150 years old. These people haven't built a house in this town in hundreds of years. They're all living in houses that were built by their great-great-grandparents. There's no new construction here. So here come these Haitians that are hungry for success, and they move to this town. They start buying real estate. They start making money. They start working hard. It makes them look bad in comparison. And that's really the key reason why these people are filled for hate for these Haitian immigrants, is because they see a hungry person that wants the American dream, and it makes them look bad in comparison because they are lazy and trying to leech off the system. Bro, I'm an Uber driver in Sarasota, Tampa area. I pick up Haitians every single day who are working 2 and 3 jobs, bro. And some of them speak Spanish and Haitian Creole and are learning English. These are people that have 3 different languages. Some of them speak 4 languages because they know Haitian Creole and they speak French as well. These are people with 3 to 4 languages. And they love white women. If you're a white woman in Ohio and your husband's been abusing you, treating you bad, putting his hands on you, get yourself a Haitian man and he will treat you like a princess and a queen. He ain't never gonna put his hands on you, and if he does, all you have to do is dial 911 and watch him get the beating of his lifetime when the white racist cops in Ohio show up. Girl, it's the best thing you could do with yourself if you're in Ohio. I had a good Haitian friend here in Florida. He lived right next door to me. He spent most of his time in prison, unfortunately, but he was a great guy. And when he got out of prison, I gave him work with me. Me and him were working together. He was working with me. And, he had done several prison terms for trafficking and never got deported. And one day, I paid him extra money, and he unfortunately got home, drank a little bit, and beat his white girlfriend. Never saw him again. He got deported right after that. So, girl, if you want to get yourself a man, and if he hurts you or does something to you, all you got to do is call 911. He gets deported. You can get yourself one of these stalkers for the rest of your life. You can't get rid of no matter what. Or you can get a guy that if he puts his hands on you, he'll get deported. Clear choice. Green light. Go for it, girl. So some small rundown town in Ohio didn't discover that Haitian eats cats. Bro, we have 600,000 Haitians in Florida. If somebody would have known the cats were disappearing, it would have been us. We got 600,000 of them. Now, the biggest industry in this town happens to be healthcare. Not a surprise, considering the health of these people. But did you know that Haitians make a large percentage of the healthcare in the communities they live in? And they're known for being some of the best nurses and also cooks here in South Florida. So most of the restaurants in South Florida, the cooks are going to be Haitian, especially if it's like a French restaurant. A lot of that cuisine, most of the cooks are going to be Haitian. And of course, like I said, healthcare. Nurses, a lot of them in South Florida are Haitian, and they have a reputation of being some of the best people for hospitality, hotels, cleaning staff, anything of that sort. they're the best, and they really do a good job of cleaning. See, the Haitian people, despite being poor, are very clean people. Unfortunately, everything we hear on the news and see on the news about Haiti is from the capital, Port-au-Prince. They're just showing you the slums. It's kind of like if we were going to show a video of the United States and we said, here's a video of, what's this place? Springfield, Ohio. This is what America looks like. No, this is not what America looks like. Their roads are beat up. Their sidewalks, their cars are old and trashy. Their buildings are falling apart. If we're going to show a video of somebody about America, we might want to show them Miami or Los Angeles or San Francisco, something that we could be proud of. You're not going to show them a video of freaking Springfield, Ohio, because it's embarrassing. So the same way, everything that we see and hear about Haiti is bad, but Haiti really isn't that bad. And the people that are fleeing now, a lot of them are from the more rural community. So it's definitely a different crowd of Haitians coming now versus the ones that used to come before. Now, when I lived in Naples, Florida, I was doing a building project and I had 4 or 5 Haitian workers. And one day, there just wasn't that much to do, but we brought them on the job site because there was like some site cleaning and like little cleanup details you had to do on the property. And the Haitians refused to work. They said, we are man. We work lifting bricks and digging holes and carrying heavy things. We're not going to come here and pick up garbage. We don't do that work. We are man. We are here to work. And I actually had to find something heavier for them to do because they said they were men and they weren't going to be seen doing female work, okay? These people have a strong work ethic, okay? Haitians are known for being very hardworking people. There's now a growing Haitian community in Mexico, in Tamaulipas. That's right on the U.S.-Mexico border. A lot of Haitians have decided, instead of coming to the United States where they're hated and persecuted and they're making up lies about their culture, and well, here's this scenario right now, right? Instead of coming to the United States to be mistreated by Americans, why don't we just stay here in Mexico where they're treating us just fine? And now in Mexico, the Haitians, if there's actually news reports coming out of Mexico that the Mexican people love the Haitians because the work that the Mexicans don't want to do, the Haitians are doing, and they're doing it harder, better. They're less complacent. They're hardworking people. Go figure. When people in Mexico, the Mexico is analytically, by the way, if you don't know this, the hardest working country in the world by hours and all that. It's a country that's attached to the United States geographically. So it's part of the American system of, commerce. So Mexico by hours, it works just like the United States. It is the hardest working country in the world. Most production per person, most hours worked is the country of Mexico globally. So what are they saying? Yeah, we want these people here. Matter of fact, we need these people in our country, and Mexico's making arrangements for a lot of Haitians to stay there because the Mexican people love them. And I mean, I live in South Florida, and we would be screwed here without Haitians. McDonald's jobs, drive-through jobs, doctors, cleaning, nursing facilities, anything that is cleaning, hotels, hospitality, those are all Haitians. Nurses that are desperately needed in Florida, a lot of them are Haitians. When you go to a restaurant, the cooks are Haitians. And cook jobs aren't jobs that any idiot can do. It's not like being a regular person in a kitchen. It's a demanding job. You can't miss your turn at work, They're not easy to supplement them. They have to learn a menu. These are workers that are really hard to find. We would be screwed in Florida without Haitians. Let me tell you, our economy, especially those low-paying jobs that we need for our society, they're the only ones that are doing them, and they're eager to do it. And they don't complain about doing it. They're happy to have a job and be in the United States. Makes them very different from even other immigrant groups. Definitely different from Americans. We just take it all for granted. Now, over the years in Florida, I have met some Haitians like anybody else. There's that small percentage of the population that's trouble. We send those people to Ohio and other states up that way. We don't need them here in Florida. So perhaps they're not getting the best versions of Haitians possible because it's freaking Ohio. It's the most successful Haitians. They don't want to go to Ohio. They want to go to Miami or New York or San Antonio or something, They don't want to end up in freaking Ohio. So perhaps they're not getting the best specimens of Haitians. But the message that they're spreading that these people are eating cats, bro, there's been Haitians down here in South Florida for the longest, okay? If there's something to be known about Haitians, it would be somebody like us from South Florida. We have 600,000 of them. So they're just spreading lies. It's around the election time, and they're trying to scare people to vote. So this is one of their tactics. And unfortunately, people believe all this stuff. People actually believe all these lies about Haitians. But the truth about Haitians is that they're very hard-working people. And unfortunately, today, there's a lot of political agendas with the news coverage and the stories they pick to cover. Like, for example, if a Haitian randomly decides to eat a cat, 1 in a million thing that happens, that's going to be front page. But they don't talk about the 100,000 Americans that are dying every single year from overdoses. That never gets mentioned. They're not talking about the other things that are killing Americans right now. People, they only talk about the one that's coming from China and Mexico. There's a few things going around right now that are killing more people than that and hurting more people. Not only hurting them, it leaves them alive with mental disabilities that don't go away ever. Look, what's up, player? Oh man, he must be Haitian. What's up? Sapa se na boule. And you know, Paris papi. That's right. I parle Creole because I got a lot of Haitian friends down here. He know paresse. I tiens no paresse. No, I tiens not paresse, papi. Ça passe. You gotta be kidding me talking about Haitians, man. These people are hilarious, bro. But people believe it. They don't know any better. They're ignorant. They don't know any. You think people in Ohio, if you tell them that Haitians are eating cats and dogs, they're not gonna believe it? These are dumb people. They'll believe it, bro. These are like cornbread fed hicks. They'll believe it. They've never traveled or been anywhere to know anything. Like, if you tell you, look, Larry, these dang Haitians ate my dog Larry. They ate Larry. Oh, Larry. We can't have that. No, we can't have that. And they don't know that Larry probably just died from an OD or something. But that's the reality of this situation. These are ignorant people. They live. Look at how they live. Can you imagine living in the United States of America like this? Like this. This is the United States of America. Run down buildings, run down cars, decrepit roads. They got trees growing on a sidewalk. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that this is the way these people are living, but that's how they're living in the United States. So here come these successful immigrant groups, and of course they're going to throw a fit, you know? But no, we have Haitians here in Florida. They're great, hardworking people, and they're not going to eat your freaking cat or dog. That's a load of crap. They really don't need to be worried about their cats and dogs. They need to be worried about their white women. That's what the Haitians is really going to come for. I don't want to be worried about them cats and dogs. You need to worry about them white women. That's what them Haitians really coming after. Ain't that something, man? But no, man. How low do you have to be to spread misinformation about other people? The world right now is in turmoil. Latin America is in bad shape. And if you didn't know this, Haitians are Latinos because they're in Latin America. They're not Hispanics, but they are Latinos, if you didn't know that. Now, Spaniards are Hispanics, but they're not Latinos because they're Europeans. Brazilians and Haitians are Latinos, but they're not Hispanics. Haitians being French, and of course, Brazilians being Portuguese. And eu falo português. A gente do Brasil, tá bom, tá bom. But right now in the United States, they went after the Venezuelans. Now they're going after the Haitians. They're going after the homeless people. Anybody who they deem undesirable, they start a misinformation campaign. They make laws against these people, and they marginalize these people. What's happening in the United States right now is on par with what happened in Germany. The people's hearts are there. They're full of hate. They're wanting to do it. They just know they can't do it. But their hearts are set on that, you know. That's what they want to do. And it's sad that this is happening, but it's the reality of this situation. But if you've known Haitian people, they're great people. They got great food, great music. Compa music from Haiti. I love listening to it. Why are you moving to Ohio, Papi? Come to Florida, okay? Come to Sarasota. Come to Tampa. Come to Orlando. Come to Miami, Papi. You don't want to be in Ohio, Papi. Oh, you crazy. Ohio? You crazy, Papi. You ain't gonna catch me moving to Orlando, to Ohio. You crazy, Papi. You crazy for even moving to Ohio. New York, Orlando, Houston, Miami. That's where you need to end up, Papi. I'm telling you. You don't want to end up in Ohio. Well, they're giving migrants resources that belong to the American people. Okay, let me ask you a question. Here you have somebody who is hungry to work, deeply desiring to be an American, risk their life to come here, hardworking. They're going to do whatever it takes to be successful. They want to be a homeowner. They want to get indebted. They want to buy a brand new car. They want to buy a house. Why would you give money to Americans so they can use it to get high when you can give money and resources to immigrants that are eager to start working, to start building houses, to start working and taking care of people in this country? It's like these people now, they're giving resources to illegals, not to Americans. Of course. You're going to give money to Americans so they can spend it on what? No, we're not here to enable your addiction. No, absolutely not. We're not going to give you money so you can get high. We're going to give these people money so they can start building America again. Look at this place. They haven't built a house here in 200 years. Look at these roads. Look at these cars. These people, they're communists. They don't buy cars. Look at these cars. They're all old. They refuse to take part in the American capitalistic system. Look at these cars. They're old. They refuse to buy cars. They refuse to build houses. Look at this place. It's falling apart. They're communists. This is a capitalistic system. We need you to go and buy a brand new Dodge Charger. We need you to go and buy a brand new house. You can't live in a house from the 1800s. We got to tear down some lumber and build some houses. This is the United States of America. This is a capitalistic system. We can't have you living in a house from the 1800s, driving a car from the 1980s. This is America. And these immigrants, they want capitalism. They want to get indebted. They want to buy a brand new car. They want to build a brand new house. You didn't come to America to live in a house from the 1800s and drive a car from the 1980s? That's not the American dream. Yo, the founding fathers of this country kicked out the British. They said, we don't need you no more. We ain't doing this. No, we ain't doing that. You got to go. We need people from Ireland. We need people from Scotland. See, back then, the Irish and the Scottish were the Haitian. Okay, and they were hated. But they're the ones that built all these houses. They're the ones that built the United States of America. You understand? And that's how the United States was founded. It wasn't no English people building these houses. It was Irish and Scottish that built America. But that was 400 years ago. Now, it's going to be Haitians. It's going to be Venezuelans. Whatever country has turned. Back then, it was called the potato famine. The people were leaving Irish. They were leaving Ireland because they ran out of potatoes. These were potato famine survivors that came here hungry to America, and they built America. They built all the East Coast of America. But now those people, their great-grandkids, oh, look at that cat. Oh, Papa, you better be hanging. Oh, Papa, you going to make some griots with the cat? Come on, Haitian ain't going to make no griot with no cat. Papa, come on, man. How dare you even say that? That was a bad taste joke right there. No, man. America was built by the Scottish and the Irish, man. They were hungry. They were potato famine survivors that came here on boats, just like the Haitians did, trying to start something in America. And that's how America was built. And that's how America is going to continue to be built. The United States was built by enslaved people, the Irish, the African slaves. Now it's the migrants from Latin America. This country is founded on the exploitation of migrant groups. And that's how this country's been like that. It's always been like that. The English didn't build none of that stuff. They had slaves. Yeah. None of us living today are touching a piece of plywood. These people are touching a piece of plywood. This country was built by slaves and people that were marginalized and thus forced to do everything. America was built on slavery, and this is the way that this country functions. So, of course, they're going to give the resources to the slaves so they can work. It's kind of like, you really think they're going to give you resources? So what, so you can smoke it all in the thin air? No, we ain't doing that. We're not going to give you SSI so you can, use it to get, no. We got a country to build. This is a capitalistic system built on the exploitation of minorities. Of course, they're going to marginalize you, but they can't do it without you, because the American person right now, sitting at home, I bet you're drinking a beer. You probably had 6 beers today. How many beers? Larry, Billy, how many beers have you had today? If you're watching from Ohio, I want you to, before you comment, how many beers have you had today? You think a Haitian migrant had a beer today? Absolutely not. He might have had some coffee on the way to work. That's 6 in the morning. But anyways, I'm really sorry that these people are going to Ohio. I really am. I wish I spoke enough Creole where I can make a video in Creole telling these people to come to Florida. We'll treat you better. We need you more. Don't end up over here in Ohio. Come over here to Florida. But anyways, that's today's video, guys. Lies being spread about Haitian immigrants. This is what this country is about right now. Misinformation that people hear and believe. And they'll believe anything you tell them. If it's coming from somebody, they'll believe it. It doesn't matter how stupid or unreasonable it is, they'll believe it. These people are the most blind society that has ever existed, because today we have access to information. If you really want to know how bad things are in Haiti, you can go on YouTube right now and find a YouTube creator out of Haiti and just see what's going on over there. They'll show you how they cook, what they cook, where they go, the music. Everything is on the internet today. Never on earth has so much information been accessible to the public. So in the year 2024, where there's so much information accessible to the public, to believe lies like this, you have to be the dumbest generation that's ever existed, because at least the other generations didn't have access to information.